my name is Claire Hamrick, and I am doing the 5 steps through the intervention process. I'm doing scenario number 11, which is the Hammonds. The daughter is having issues. She's lashing out at school, she's doing drugs and alcohol, and she's not respecting her parents, and they are threatening to put her into foster care. So I'm here to step in. So step 1 is problem identification. Obviously the problems are her actions, the daughter's misbehaving, problems with drug and alcohol, foul language, lacking respect towards her and her parent, towards herself, her parents, the teachers, everybody that's just pretty much around. The parents are lost on how to tame their daughter. They don't know what to do, so they're threatening to send her to foster care for a week, which I did not want them to do, so we're just going to try and figure out what we can do for them. To discuss these problems, I'm going to talk to both the daughter and the parents separately and together. I want to see both stories together and separate. I want to see what's said especially with the daughter alone. I want to make sure that she feels comfortable with me and that she can tell me whatever she needs to tell me what's going on in her life and why she feels like she has to lash out to get the attention. I want to see where these problems are coming from. I want to know what the source is. I want to know if she's talking to her parents about any of this or what's going on. I definitely want to talk to the parents about steps to be more involved in their daughter's life and how to help her and themselves. So step number 2 is assessment and goal setting. To ensure the parents and daughter know that the focus is to improve their relationship and their lives. We definitely want to make this situation better. Main way to do that is just to talk it out, just to see what is going on. They also can go to counseling. They need to figure out what they need to do or what they want to do that they think will help themselves. If they're more open to it, the more willing they are to be helped. I want to talk to the parents about how they can talk to their daughter, react to her actions, and help her understand that they are here to help her and not to hurt her. I want to provide both parties with help they can receive, such as counseling, alcohol and drug classes, and tutoring for their daughter's school. I also want to help the daughter understand the consequences of her actions. She definitely probably doesn't understand that she's not untouchable and that one day she could get caught and something else could happen where her parents aren't there to save her anymore. So she needs kind of a reality check to figure out what she's doing and why she's doing it. I want to put both parties in a room and monitor as they talk. I definitely don't want any negative context. I don't want anybody blaming each other. I just want to get to the root of what's going on. And I want to hear everybody talk to each other and see if people are talking over each other and what is really coming from, because communication is the biggest thing here to figure out what is going on in the daughter's head. I want to help both parties understand that once all of these steps are completed, they can continue to seek help, but that I'm not going to be their source of help for the rest of their lives, pretty much. I'm basically here to intervene. I want to make sure that the situation is getting better immediately, but that it can continue to get better over time, and I want them to know that as well, and that I will definitely provide the resources for that and the counseling and all of that for them to be able to get help when they need it. And honestly, you need to ask for it when you need it. So my step 3, which is the action plan development. Number 1 is to identify the problem, to make sure that they know what the problem is. The biggest thing is for them to realize what's going on that's wrong so that they know what they need to fix. So they're not trying to fix little things that don't really matter. Through this whole process, I'm going to be doing evaluations of how their progress is doing, how they're changing, how the communication is changing, how the daughter's behavior is changing, how the parents' behavior is changing. I want them to definitely communicate. That is the biggest part of this development plan, is communication. If they are not communicating, it is not going to work, and I have made that very clear in my plan. They need to make sure that they are talking to the daughter and that the daughter is also talking to them. They may have to force her down. They may not all want to. They need to figure out who the father or who the mother, attitudes toward the daughter, how it's going to all play out. They need to kind of plan it out before they go into these discussions. The timeline that I'm thinking is from day 1 to the end is going to be about 3 months. Depending on how much they want to go into counseling, usually people, especially busy parents or busy kids with school, can only do about once a week. When we have a major problem like this, such as her hopefully not getting involved in any more drugs or alcohol or anything like that, but that's a pretty serious matter. So step number 1 is definitely going to be getting into some classes so that she can hopefully get over the fact that that is not going to help her. She needs to realize that alcohol and drugs is not the answer, and that is one of the other biggest things along with communication, is to be sure to stay away from those substances. They need to ensure that they seek help later if they need to. That is one of the other biggest things. I definitely want them to be able to see the steps now of her acting out so that they can act earlier than they are now, where she's already kind of tumbling down in a spiral. I want to explain to them the outcome and what I want, and I want them to tell me what they want in the end so that we can all work together to figure out how we can get both of our wants and needs to the end and figure out how their lives can improve and their relationship so that nobody is lost in this. We definitely don't want anybody confused, lost, or being forced to do anything they don't want to do. That's not how this is going to go. Step 4, which is implementation. I wanted to provide full support for the family during their action plan development. I wanted to talk with both parties regularly to make sure progress is happening. I wanted to meet with the parties together and evaluate progress. I wanted to use resources to provide the right counseling for the parties during implementation to make sure there are no fallbacks. I don't want them stopping counseling and then going back to their old habits. The best way to continue forward is to continue with the help. So I want to make sure that they know that. The evaluations thus far, I'm hoping, is just constantly checking to make sure the daughter and the parents are okay with the changes made. Lots of times families do not communicate, so constant communication all of a sudden is very overwhelming. They need to make sure that they are figuring out what they're going to say before they go in. They need specific questions. They need to know what they're asking and what kind of answers they want to hear. Whether it's about her schoolwork, whether it's about if she's lying about where she's going, we need to figure out what is happening. And we also need to figure out if the parents are contributing enough to this process. We want to make sure the daughter is getting the help she needs, for the drugs and alcohol especially. We want to make sure the parents are giving and receiving feedback about how they can monitor their daughter and are feeling comfortable with the process. Good feedback is always going to be a positive thing. Good feedback means better process. The daughter gets happy compliments, then she's going to be a little bit happier, not dreading going home to a negative household. Positive feedback is definitely a good thing. So the last step, which is termination, is to ensure the changes made and the help given made a difference. I want to definitely make sure that this whole entire process was for nothing. I want to make sure that all of this is actually going to make their lives different in a better way. If the parents or daughters seek more assistance, I want to make sure that they know that I have the resources and that I can give them the resources for counseling, classes, tutoring, whatever they will need that they think will make their lives easier. And this whole process to getting involved in their daughter's relationship, I want to make sure that they know what they can do and what help they can get throughout this termination. I want them to know that I was here temporarily to help them get them through this hard time, but that they can always use the resources that I'm going to give them to go seek more counseling. I want to also do a follow-up once terminated to make sure the ongoing process is working and to make sure that they are seeking help if they need it. I want to make sure that if they need more resources, they can definitely get them, and I want to make sure everything's going to be okay. So that is my whole process and everything that's going to happen if I do end up going across this scenario one day. Just let me know your feedback. Thank you very much.